We now move to our first witness panel to hear testimony from Mr. Newhouse on the bill. As a reminder, you are limited to 5 minutes, but your written statement will appear in full in the hearing record. Mr. Newhouse, you are now recognized for 5 minutes. Thank
you, Chairman Lambert and Ranking Member Huffman, as well as members of the subcommittee, for inviting me to testify before you today on H.R. 4419, the Bureau of Reclamation and Bureau of Indian Affairs Water Project Streamlining Act. This legislation exhibits years of hard work, determination, and certainly collaboration. And I'd like to begin by extending my sincere thanks to Chairman Bishop, his staff, as well as Speaker Ryan and his staff for working with me to help move this legislation forward. I'd also like to thank my colleague, Congressman Reichert, for his continued partnership on these efforts. This legislation is not only critical for our respective districts but in Washington State, but also districts across the nation, particularly those in the West. As you know, water is vital for the livelihoods and the prosperities for our communities in the Western United States. These communities, including my constituents in Central Washington, know all too well the detrimental impacts of facing severe droughts and water shortages. In states where the Bureau of Reclamation and the Bureau of Indian Affairs hold jurisdiction for the development of water projects, communities are left waiting due to the lack of a streamlined process. H.R. 4419 would apply the same streamlined water project development process used by the U.S. Army Corps of Engineers that was established under the Water Resources Reform Development Act of 2014, or WRDA, to BOR and BIA's processes for surface water, storage, infrastructure, and recycling project developments. The WRDA legislation passed through both chambers of Congress with overwhelming bipartisan support. And my hope is with this legislation to achieve the same streamlined process for BOR and BIA that was developed for the Corps. This legislation also authorizes several key water development projects across the West, including projects in California, Kansas, Montana, and in my home state of Washington. One of these is the third phase of a vital effort in Central Washington, the Yakima River Basin Enhancement Project. The Yakima River Basin, as you well know, is one of the leading agricultural regions in Washington State, as well as throughout the country. However, the demand for water in the region currently exceeds the resources available, especially during times of drought, which have hit the state especially hard in these past few years. Through years of tough and complex but continued negotiations, the Yakima River Basin Plan is a model of collaboration that offers a solution to give water users more certainty, while also recognizing the concerns of conservationists and the various stakeholders in the Yakima Basin. Now, I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the collaborative group of stakeholders at the core of this vital effort. The YARBWEP work group and its implementation committee are made up of local irrigation districts, environmental advocates, local elected officials, tribal leaders, state agency officials, conservation organizations, and water storage advocates. The fact that this diverse of a group can agree on much, let alone negotiate and collaborate on years of integrated water project development efforts, is nothing short of groundbreaking. I look forward to hearing the testimony from one of the implementation committee's own, Mr. Urban Eberhardt, and I thank the subcommittee for providing the opportunity for the work group to share their model of success with the nation. It's something that I can tell you I'm very, very proud of. Mr. Chairman, H.R. 4419, the Bureau of Reclamation and Bureau of Indian Affairs Water Project Streamlining Act, is a common-sense bill that reforms the current cumbersome and lengthy processes for water development efforts and provides a mechanism to build new water and infrastructure projects in Central Washington, as well as across the West. This legislation will provide the next major step to addressing our water crisis in the West. I thank the subcommittee for allowing me to testify today, and I certainly look forward to working with you to get this bill signed into law. With that, thank you very much, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, thank you for your testimony. You are welcome to join us for the remainder of the hearing, but if you need to be excused,